Hi everyone, I'm John from Auto Hospital. Today we're going to discuss different types of rust repair, panel replacement, things of that nature. We're going to talk about the different processes of the repair and also the ways we adhere the two pieces of metal together, welding versus bonding. The first repair we have is a pretty common repair, inexpensive repair. This is actually simulating a rust hole, and this is going to be the patch. And you would put the patch over the hole, weld it on, rivet it on, glue it on, depending. It's not a very good repair. Generally, you would hammer it down, fill it with filler, and call it good, but not a very good repair, and I don't recommend it. The second repair is the patch. The panel has a step put in it, and then the patch is put over the step so the metal is level with one another. There's two ways you can do this. You can weld it or you can bond it. I personally would rather bond it, as most shops are doing this now, because versus welding, you're not going to get condensation building up between the two pieces of metal. So with the bond, it's airtight. It's actually a pretty good repair, and it's not a real expensive repair. It's pretty cost effective.
Can we show them that step, John?
Sure. Actually, we'll do it on this panel here. While I'm on this panel, this way here is pretty common with race car fabrication when you're going to rivet two panels together. These are Glicos, by the way. This is the step that we make in the metal. This would be the patch that would come over the step. Now the metal is level. Less body work to do on this type of repair. And that step is made with this tool here. Make a variety of them, different styles. They come in a pistol grip or straight like this. This side here will make the step. This over here will punch a hole. So you could make the step, punch your holes, and you could weld it in that way too. It's another way of doing it. But like I said, I personally...
and that is the one with the step in it as well, with the bonding?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And you can see it's level. Very little body work when you do it that way. As long as the metal is, is shaped correctly, and especially on a curved panel like a quarter panel, you're going to have to roll that step in a little bit to get the panel to, so you don't have a high spot coming up like that. And the third way of repair is actually not a repair, it's considered restoration, because you're making the metal one piece again. You can't see where it's seamed. It's metal finished, it's smooth. The weld isn't very pretty, but we're not concerned about the look of the weld. What we're concerned about is the penetration. So when we grind the weld down, it's nice and level, and that's restoration.
Let me get a close-up of that one. And explain that gap.
Yeah, the gap, you want to make a gap in the metal that's the same thickness as the patch that you're putting in. You can see the gap there. It's a little bit wider, but it might have moved on me from the clamp. These are clamps I bought, I don't know, years ago. I don't remember where I got them. You could actually make something similar and make it work. These don't work in every application. Some places you can't get to both sides of the metal to do it that way, so you have to come up with a different way of doing it. But this is ideal. And I should see a little bit of the weld right there. This is MIG welded. I prefer to gas weld it, but because of some issues I'm having with the regulator right now, I wasn't able to gas weld it, but I MIG weld it. With the gas welding, you're going to get more warpage from the heat, but it's a much softer weld than the MIG, so you're able to shape the metal back. This here, you can't see it on film, but you can feel a little bit of irregularity there, very minor, and that was done with MIG. The other thing is when you put the two pieces of metal directly together, like this.
Without a gap?
Without a gap. When you go to weld it, you're not going to get as good penetration, and the metal is going to want to crown on you a little bit like that. And especially when you're MIG welding it like that, it's really hard to straighten out because that weld is stronger or stiffer than the rest of the metal. So always a gap. Try and gas weld or TIG weld if you can. Much nicer job. And less body filler on the repair overall, which is what we want. Nothing wrong with body filler, but we want to use as little as possible. The other thing we're going to talk about is this is multi-panel adhesive. Use this gun here, just a thin film in there when you're doing this type of repair, when you're bonding it. Also, the company that we deal with was nice enough to send us a chart. Shows us the different applications. You have your adhesives, plastic repair sealer, and sound dampening material. It gives you a brief description in which one is used. Each one is used for. This here we use for the panel. Door skin, similar, but dries a little bit quicker.
So this actually covers a variety of repairs, all
Variety
types
of
of
repairs.
materials and everything.
That's right. 3M has their own series. This is SEM. There's a few other companies out there. They're all pretty competitive, pretty good. And these are the tips you would use. They're one-time use. That's the only bad thing about them. They're not cheap, so I try not to use them if I don't have to. Did I miss anything, Rob?
No, I think pretty much we've covered it all, unless we go to a different type of video or different type of format and want to cover other subjects. But as far as patching, the actual types of repairs for a patch or rust repair or panel replacement, I think is pretty much covered.
That's right. Another thing I want to talk about, the weld versus the bonding. In the collision industry, a lot of panels are being bonded on. You have to check, if you're doing anything structural, you have to check with the manufacturer, find out whether welding applies or bonding applies. And you want to stick with what their recommendations are. With a patch panel, it's a little bit different. We're not dealing so much with structural, so you can do either way. This is a restoration. The rest of these are repairs. So I think that that's going to kind of sum it up a little bit. And we're going to have more videos coming out soon. We're currently trying to do one video per week to educate people, whether you're going into a shop to have your car done or you want to do it yourself. So you're not wasting your time and you get it done right. So until next time, that's going to be it.